Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to Canal Algérie's News in English and today's top stories. On a visit to Ingazam province, the Minister of Interior, Ibrahim Marad, inquires about the province's important projects. In its last issue of the year 2022, Al-Jaish magazine praises the positive results, achievements, and decisions for the benefit of the citizens throughout the last year. And we visit El Bahia, Iran, to inquire more about the various ports infrastructures ready to host the 2022 Shan. In Morocco, the beginning of the year is marked by many popular protests. Tonight we shed light on the protests of human rights activists demanding the freedom of Mohammed Arab, a member of a political movement. Good evening, those are today's headlines. First in our news, during his visit to Ingazam province, the Minister of the Interior, Local Collectivities and Territory Planning, Ibrahim Marad, stated that this province has a particular importance since it will become a main access to reach the depths of Africa. Manal Ammari has more.
Ingazam, a newly created province which borders the extreme south, will become a main access to reach the depth of Africa, which is why it is necessary to promote development in this region, to bring about a new economic dynamic, as was stated by the Minister of the Interior, Local Collectivities and Territory Planning, Ibrahim Marad, during his work and inspection visit.
أقصى نقطة في بلدنا القارة بإنجزام في المعبر ما بين إذن دولتنا ودولة النيجر. هذا المعبر الذي أقر السيد رئيس الجمهورية.
We are in the extreme south of the country in Ingazam, at the level of the border crossing with Niger, a crossing that the President of the Republic decided to upgrade since it is witnessing a strong economic dynamic, namely through bartering. It should be noted that more than 400 trucks pass through this province on a daily basis. We should also grant more importance to these types of exchanges, especially since the President of the Republic is working to make sure that our economy has an African scope, especially after the taking of important measures such as the opening of banks and the renovation of roads leading to these countries, as well as the facilitation of procedures on all levels. We are already observing the concretization of important projects on the field, like the creation of the free trade zone. It should be known that we are also working towards facilitating and improving these conditions by supporting local collectivities in Ingazam and the 9 newly created provinces. Ingazam is the 4th province we are visiting to inquire very closely about this province's development. We will continue our visits to other newly created provinces to implement the instructions of the President of the Republic and his promising development program, which could only be achieved through the establishment of security. I would like to salute the National People's Army's crucial role, which consists of protecting the country, and we thank them for their efforts.
كما ينبغي، وهذا في مناطق مثل هذه لن يتأتى إلا بإرسال الأمن، والأمن لهنا اسمحوا لي أن نشيد بالدور الجبار، الدور العظيم اللي يقوم به مصالح الأمن ككل وخاصة الجيش الوطني الشعبي.
Great hopes are bestowed upon this province, which is benefiting from several development projects, particularly to improve the citizens' living environment.
In the International Conferences Center, the Minister of Finance, Ibrahim Jamal Kisali, hosted the ceremony of the submission of budget allocations to the different ministerial departments and for the first time to public institutions. The minister stressed that this 2023 finance law is unprecedented. It is dedicated to the concretization of the different reforms. Coverage by Amal Baqba, story taken up by Sabrinta Ferginit.
The budget allocations to ministerial departments and public institutions for the year of 2023 was marked by the introduction of a new management mode concerning public finances. According to the Minister of Finance, it's a goal-oriented policy approach in accordance with the Organic Law 1815 relating to the laws of finance ready to be implemented this year. 2023 will be the year of the application of the reforms. The Minister of Finance will deploy all the efforts for its achievement nationally, using the budgetary principles as enacted in the Organic Law 1815. This new budgetary system that allows more transparency and efficiency in the management is added to the reforms already undertaken by the Ministry of Finance for the enforcement of the system and the amendment of Public Market Code, as well as the law of cooperation between the private and public sectors. This year's submission of budget allocations took place in a particular context. Starting from this year, each public institution will have its budget and program just like ministries. There's 50 program portfolios, 33 for ministries and 17 for public institutions. The government's program aims to improve the citizens' purchasing power. It will also be participating in the economic revival. A part of this fund will be dedicated to the support of first necessity products, and it is amounted to 640 billion dinars. And another part is dedicated to the wage increases, and it is amounted this year to 350 billion dinars. This budget of 50 program portfolios for ministries and public institutions, with 141 programs, in which there are 307 sub-programs. The first program of the Algerian government concretizes the effective implementation of Organic Law 1815, relating to the finance law. New provisions aiming to ensure transparency and efficiency in the management of public finance, which has a positive impact on the purchasing power and the investment program, alongside the good managing of public expenses.
In its latest issue, titled Positive Results and Promising Prospects, Al-Jaish magazine praises the national strategy of investment, the decisions for the benefit of the citizen, the achievements and firm positions of Algerian diplomacy, in addition to the quality results of the National People's Army in the fight against terrorism and organized crime. More details with Anya Al-Bahri.
Positive Results and Promising Prospects. This is the title of the latest edition of Al-Jaish magazine. The editorialist reviews the remarkable advances made by Algeria, particularly on the economic level, through the implementation of regional structuring projects and the opening of wide possibilities for cooperation and partnership in various strategic areas. Parallel to these reforms, unprecedented social decisions have been taken, placing citizens at the heart of concerns in order to improve their living environment and preserve their purchasing power. Among these key measures, the unemployment grant for young people, the increase in salaries, as well as the continuation of the program to build housing in different forms. On the diplomatic scene, Algeria, known for its constant positions, marked a resounding return and intense activity, highlighted by its active participation in various international fora. The key event of this year is the success of Algeria in its approach to unifying the Arab ranks on the occasion of the 31st summit of the Arab League held in Algiers. A summit which ended with the adoption of important decisions, including support for the Palestinian cause and the strengthening of Arab joint action. In the field of defense, the President of the Republic insisted on continuing the work of development and modernization of all the components of the National People's Army and its promotion to take up all the challenges. The head of state particularly emphasized the need to continuously improve the level of military industry in their various branches. In the field of the fight against terrorism and organized crime, the detachments of the National People's Army have obtained remarkable results that testify the excellent preparation for combat, high-level training, and the permanent vigilance of the military institution. As the Army General Said Shengriha has repeatedly affirmed that the staff of the National People's Army reflects the determination to continue the process of building the new Algeria.
Concerning subway progress updates, specifically the section linking Ain Najat Barraqi and the one linking Al Haraj to Huwarid Boumedien's airport, the works will be achieved by March 2024. The Minister of Transport, Kamal Beljoud, accompanied by the Minister of Public Works, Lakhdar Rakhroukh, were on site.
The different extension projects of Algiers subway have known good progress. The two ministers of Transport and Public Works, as well as Algiers governor, paid a visit to the two stations of Al Haraj connecting Huwarid Boumediene Airport and the one connecting Ain Najat to Barraqi.
Le taux d'avancement il atteint les 80% pour le volet génie civil.
We are witnessing 80% progress status concerning civil engineering part. Talking about the railway linking Al-Haraj to Huwari Boumediene, the progress is also remarkable and goes beyond 80%. We are aiming to deliver these two projects by the end of 2023 or the first quarter of 2024.
D'ici la fin de l'année 2023, au plus tard le premier trimestre 2024.
Concerning the integrated system of these two projects, that includes electricity, airflow, telecommunication, as well as interior and exterior installation, the Transport Minister insisted on the importance of respecting the deadlines.
Là, pour le système intégral,
we have the financial means for the integrated system. The specifications are ready. We have a decision to make in coordination with the Prime Minister, which will conclude whether it will be a national and international tendering or a mutual agreement. In the transport sector, Kharouba's railway station is the biggest one in Algeria, has benefited from modern equipment fitting the security and comfort standards, notably the launching of mobile application Mahattati. Coming under this digitization policy of transport sector, a mobile application, namely Mahattati, was launched for the benefit of the users wanting to check the travel schedules without having to move in Moscow. The Minister of Transport highlighted the fact that his department will ensure the respect of the deadlines of the different projects. These projects, and once completed, will certainly upgrade the transport means in the capital.
The national local football team held a training session at the Sidi Moussa Center ahead of the friendly match against Ghana on Saturday starting 8 p.m. at Baraki Stadium as part of the preparations before the official kickoff of the 2022 African Championship of Nations. Among the provinces that will host the matches of this African competition is Al-Bahia, Iran, the city that impeccably hosted the Mediterranean Games last year, namely thanks to its various sports infrastructures, which we will discover more about with Rania Al-Bahri.
Oran Al-Bahia captivated its guests during the last Mediterranean Games by its beauty and the hospitality of its inhabitants. Oran will do it again and will welcome its guests during the African Championship of Nations. Those who are lucky enough to be in the capital of the West will not only enjoy the sports facilities, but also the tourist sites and luxurious hotels, a stay that they won't forget. The Miloud Hadfi Stadium, which has undergone the final touches, is ready to host the matches of Group D and E, an enclosure of international standards which has all the necessary amenities to host very high-level matches and comfortable stands, which will allow spectators to follow the games at their ease. In Oran, everyone is waiting impatiently for the African Championship of Nations to experience the exceptional atmosphere of such an event because the inhabitants of the region are known to be lovers of football.
One of the many categories that protest on a regular basis in Morocco to denounce the failing policy of Al-Makhzen is human rights activists, this time in front of the court of Meknes to denounce the imprisonment of Mohammed Arab, a member of a political movement, Al-Adl wal-Ihsan, demanding his immediate freedom min al-Ammari.
Hundreds of human rights activists were mobilized before the Meknes court to support and protest against the arbitrary detention of Dr. Mohammed Bassou Arab and calling for his immediate release. He was arrested because of his affiliation with the Justice and Charity political movement, known for its position and struggle against the Makhzen regime. The Moroccan government set up a series of measures and restrictions to suppress activities within this political movement for years.
فوجئنا في جماعة الإحسان بمكناس بتلفيق تهم. لا زال المخزن مصر على صورته وعلى نمطه التقليدي في إلصاق التهم، مصر على تهامه التقليدية التي يلصق.
We were surprised within the justice and charity movement of these charges. The Makhzen insists on its traditional image and pattern in pinning charges on political opponents, primitive methods that the Makhzen continues to use. The Makhzen regime's determination on pinning such charges and allegations that make no sense and that no one believes. Human rights organizations now denounce such methods. We are standing in the face of these vile and despicable tactics to announce to the public and private opinion that we are facing this injustice because of our honest and clear positions. Mohamed Bassou was arrested because he is a member and leader within the justice and charity movement, known for its forthright positions in the face of the injustice and tyranny in this country.
جماعة العدل والإحسان المعروفة بمواقفها الصريحة والواضحة مما يمارس من ظلم ومن استبداد على هذه البلاد.
Protesters also denounced the way in which the opponents' records were fabricated to hide the Makhzen regime's incompetence on all levels, a regime which has been facing unprecedented protest movements for several months now. Moroccans are strongly committed in their fight for dignity, while condemning what they qualify as an act of disdain against the legitimate grievances of a people that is wronged within their most basic rights.
In Palestine, Karim Yunus is finally free after 40 years in the Zionist occupation's prisons, during which he lost his parents and members of his family. It is a joyful atmosphere in Palestine. The television's correspondent to occupied Palestine, Wissam Abu Zaid, captured some of the reactions.
After spending 40 years in prison, Karim Yunus is finally free. As soon as he got out, he headed for the cemetery to see the graves of his parents and members of his family who died during his incarceration. It's my first night outside prison. The world has changed, but with the help of my relatives, I will integrate into the society. I spent 40 years in prison and I left last month. Becoming a symbol for Palestinians, Karim Yunus was released very early in the morning by the Zionist entity. We are very happy with the release of our hero Karim Yunus, who spent 40 years behind bars. He is an example for all the Palestinian people. There is more than 550 Palestinian detainees and prisons sentenced to life. Today, we are happy with the release of Karim Yunus, who spent 40 years of his life in prison. As a bill is being prepared by the Zionist entity on the execution of Palestinian prisoners, more than 4,700 detainees are imprisoned for defending their lands.
And with that, our news edition comes to a close. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great night.